All right, hello and welcome to episode number 43 of the All Things Sports Podcast. My name is Zach Bischoff, and I am joined over there by.
Danny Shannon, sir.
All right, thank you, Danny. We are going to be talking today about Championship Sunday, which will take place tomorrow. Yes, thank you. Yes, sorry. That's funny. You know what? I'm going to give myself another one for that. That amazingness. Okay. Jesus. Uh, all right. So today first of all, Danny, your thoughts on that thunderous applause?
I don't know how much I can follow that act up. I don't know if I can do that justice. But no, Zach, it's great to be with you, man.
Thank you, Ryan.
It's great to be with you, man, and obviously excited for the football on Sunday.
Yes. Oh, yes. You can already tell the kind of mood I'm in. Oh, boy. All right. So we're going to be talking about Championship Sunday, as I said before the thunderous applause. So let's see. So we're going to go over. Well, let's go this. First of all, Danny, your thoughts on the playoffs overall and where we stand. Well, let's go this. Your thoughts on the wild card playoff games as going back a couple of weeks here. Just your thoughts on all those games. And yeah.
Yeah, man. For sure. Obviously, NFL playoffs. There for NFL fans, there's really nothing better than NFL playoffs because truly anything can happen. I mean, it's one game. All the teams that made the playoffs, deserve to be there, and one game comes down to 60 football minutes, and that's really the beauty of NFL football. But yeah, man, as far as the playoffs, I mean, the football has been fantastic, right? You got different types of games, man. You got going back a couple of weeks, you got the Chargers getting out to a 28-0 lead, and the Jacksonville Jaguars coming back, but you also got to win in overtime by scoring like 30 some points unanswered. But then you also have games like the Philadelphia Eagles beating the Giants 38-7. So I mean, it's been really really fun to watch, and I mean I always say this, and I don't mean to sound cliche, Zach, but the beauty of sports is you never know what's going to happen, man. So just really looking forward to watching these four remaining teams battle it out, and looking forward to dive into that.
And also your thoughts on Brock Purdy. Yeah, just your thoughts on Brock Purdy during his this 49ers playoff run here.
Yeah, I'm sure that you'll probably have some thoughts on this too when we preview the 49ers specifically. But I mean, Zach, Mr. Irrelevant, the last pick in the draft. And here he is leading the San Francisco 49ers to a berth in the NFC Championship game. I mean, that is just, you cannot make that up. I mean, he's been so poised. I think he really kind of has that it factor, Zach. He's so composed. The moment's never really gotten too big for him. And the funniest thing to me, Zach, or I guess not, but the craziest thing to me, Zach, is he's 7-0 in all the games that he started. But the fact is, he's only played 7 games so far, and he's been doing this well. It obviously helps. When you got Kyle Shanahan as your coach, the great offensive coach that he is, that helps. But I mean, obviously, just the scheme that the 49ers had developed to make this rookie quarterback comfortable is just, I mean, it's been really, really, really fun to watch, man. It really has.
And also your thoughts on the once you get done with your thoughts, I will go with my thoughts. Your thoughts on the divisional round of games, and then we'll get into my thoughts, and then we'll preview the conference championships.
Yeah, man. Again.
And of course, our picks.
Yeah, for sure. Again, the game that I was very, very, I was obviously intrigued at the in the NFC, but I was very, very intrigued to watch the Buffalo Bills play the Cincinnati Bengals, man, because that's kind of Yeah, and I was rooting hard for the Bills, obviously because of Damar Hamlin, Pitt guy. You know, we really, you know, that whole story's been so cool to see. He's from Pittsburgh, so I mean, just really happy that he's his recovery is going well, and just that he's continuing to get stronger every day. But yeah, I mean, that game, it was the Bengals really dominated, Zach, and
They
I
did.
think Joe Burrow, man, and I'm sure we'll get into this as we go along here, but he is just a master, man. And as a Steelers fan, I'm a little bit concerned about that, Zach, because he's really kind of just starting to come in to his own here, and we're gonna have to face him probably for the next 15 years, twice a year. So I'm not looking forward to that. But I mean, give credit to where credit's due. He's the ultimate competitor. I mean, he never misses a read. But then you got Josh Allen, and I'm not trying to. I mean, obviously, we want to talk about the teams that are still in right now, but I'm a little bit worried about the Bills because Zach, if you watch that AFC Championship game, Josh Allen really had. I'm sorry, AFC Divisional Round game. We'll get. Josh Allen really had to do everything for the Bills team, man. I mean, and Josh Allen, he plays pretty recklessly. I think that is the biggest difference as to why the Cincinnati Bengals were able to really beat up on the Bills was because Joe Burrow is just so much smarter. I mean, he played so much smarter than Josh Allen did in that game. You know, the snow obviously probably had something to do with it. The Bills really couldn't get anything going on offense. But yeah, Zach, again, just I really feel as though you could make an argument. I mean, and this is why when we get down to the few that remain, the few teams that are still in the hunt here, it's just you can make an argument for any of these teams going to and winning the Super Bowl, which I just think is so cool.
Yeah, yeah, and it's interesting to me watching the Buffalo game. That Buffalo's collapse. I mean, on home field, and it was a snow game that game, and it was interesting to me watching just the collapse of Buffalo, as I said, into those snowy conditions which they're used to. They play
Right.
every December, January in snowy conditions like they did, and it seems like that weather was having an effect on them. I wonder what did you see that as well?
No, it definitely did, Zach. And I think that you don't want to say. I always again in the NFL there's so many variables, right? And I
Correct.
just think Cincinnati did a heck of a job just controlling what they could control. They managed the clock well down the stretch. They didn't make any dumb decisions. And another thing too, Zach, and this is why kind of if I mean I'm not sure let me look this up before I get this wrong, but I want to say Cincinnati did not have Cincinnati
That's for not doing research.
really didn't have turnovers at least the same amount of turnovers as Buffalo did in that game. And Zach, that is why too the 49ers were able to beat the Cowboys because Zach, in that game, right, Purdy did show some signs of kind of Dallas defense did a really good job of containing. I mean, both defenses played so well, but the reason why for the 49ers, and we'll get into this later, obviously, but the reason why the 49ers are in this position is because their defense was just stellar, man. I mean, Fred
Correct.
Warner just played absolutely. He did an awesome job, man. I think he had two interceptions against Dak Prescott, if I'm not mistaken. Obviously, probably should have double checked those turnovers before coming on. So I do apologize for that. But yeah, Zach, why don't we? Hey, you're right.
Listen,
You really like
listen.
that blue button, huh, man? Yeah. That's pretty cool. I'm glad we found that one. I'm glad we
Yes.
found that.
Now you're not gonna get past me, or else you're gonna get a boo.
Yeah, exactly.
And the best part is you can't. Jesus, you God, you can't boo me. I can only boo you. Okay. Why is my YouTube feed so far behind? Okay. Anyway, Jesus, professionalism's out the window tonight. All right. All right. Time to preview the conference championships. So we will begin in the AFC. Bengals and Chiefs. They have the late game tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. It will be Bengals against the Chiefs. It'll be at Arrowhead Stadium. Danny, your thoughts on that game and your pick to win?
Yeah, Zach. Now, I was going back and forth on this game, right? And because
The button's
uh,
ready.
I feel like Mahomes' ankle, obviously he injured that in his last game. So I was thinking that was going to be a factor, and that's why, Zach. That is why I'm going with the Bengals to win narrowly. Now, let me explain. Let me explain because I know I probably should have phrased. I probably should have analyzed and then give my pick as opposed to give my pick and then analyze. But here we are. I really think, Zach, when you look at um the last three times, I believe the Bengals played the Chiefs. The Bengals have beaten them three times in a row. Now, Zach, I understand that it's hard to beat the Chiefs four times in a row, but it's also very hard for the Chiefs to beat a team that has already beaten them three times in a row. So, Zach, now again, I'm going to go back to the Joe Burrow thing. I just think Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, they've really. I'm hoping that Pickett and Pickens, we're from Pittsburgh, obviously, so we're hoping that they can kind of get that connection. Maybe Pickett and Jordan Addison can get the wide receiver from USC can get that connection because they play together at Pitt. But I think Jamar Chase is going to have a huge game, and I think another thing too, Zach, is Travis Kelce has just been he's been setting records all over the place, man. And I know I'm a little bit all over the place um with how I'm talking about this game, so I apologize if I'm not very easy to follow. But I think that I'm sorry, I got a lot of thoughts in my head here. So. Yeah. And anyway, I really think that so I'm sorry. What was I had a good point that I just forgot. But I think that I think that I'm sorry. I think the Bengals, they've done I think they're going to do a really good job of limiting Travis Kelce here.
Mm-hmm.
Because and I think that's what they're going to have to do. That they're going to. I think that Travis Kelce is a generational talent. So I think if Cincinnati can limit Travis Kelce, which is again easier said than done,
Correct.
they'll be in a good spot. But I also think too, Zach, that again I want to go back to the ankle. I just think Joe Burrow is too much to handle for that Kansas City defense, man. So I think Cincinnati will win. I'm curious to hear your thoughts. I'm sorry for going on a tangent right there, but all right.
Okay. Well, for one, I mean, Mahomes playing with a high ankle sprain for what, half the game. I got to give him one of these. All right. Okay. Jesus. There we go. All right. So yeah, I think that Mahomes, obviously playing with what I believe was a high ankle sprain, for I believe at least half of that game. That shows the usually don't play through high ankle sprains. I mean, I wonder like what I don't know what they gave him, but whatever they did, it worked. But I'm seeing reflection in my glasses there. But so yeah, it'll be interesting to see the Chiefs. I think let's see here. I think the the Bengals are also going to win. And yes, I shall not boo myself. Okay.
Now, can I say I hope that I'm wrong, Zach? Do you hope that you're wrong?
Yes.
Because again, I don't want to seem like a pessimistic Steelers fan, Zach, because I know we're not talking about the Steelers right currently, but the Cincinnati Bengals, man, they've gone from being a 1-win team, a 2-win team, to just absolute goons in the AFC. And I am worried because, Zach, the Bengals have done what they needed to do to kind of change their philosophy up. Correct. And again, I don't want to go to harp on the Steelers too much, but I'm worried because we're going to have to face Joe Burrow for 15 years, twice a year, man.
Correct.
Anyway, do you want to go to the NFC?
Yes, let's go to the NFC. So, Dan, your thoughts on the first of all, individually the Eagles, and then your pick for the game for 49ers, Eagles overall, and then how you think Brock Purdy is going to do in the game. You can start there.
Yeah, Zach. Again, we talked about this a little bit earlier. I mean, the run that Brock Purdy's been on. I mean, I haven't seen anything like it. I mean, I can't think of a quarterback that was he was picked last in the draft, Zach. Last in the draft. I mean, that is just. And I honestly, because anybody that gets drafted is obviously super duper good. And I was watching a little bit of Brock Purdy's Iowa State highlights, man. He was very, very good at Iowa State. So, I understand why, he's been able to have the success that he's been able to have. But again, Zach, I mean, the story for San Francisco, I feel like is their balance, right? They got a really good rushing offense too with Christian McCaffrey, but they also have a really good defense. In fact, the number one rush defense, I believe. And they've had to kind of battle. They've been battle tested here. Now Philly kind of has had that opposite. They've kind of gone in the opposite direction because and credit to Jalen Hurts and company because they kind of rolled over the Giants 38-7. But yeah, I think again it's gonna be a clash of two different styles too, Zach, because Philly is the number one rushing team in the league, while San Francisco is the number one rushing defense in the league. Now, I think that Philly is going to have the advantage over San Francisco in that department. And I think that Jalen Hurts, his shoulder injury had been a concern earlier. That doesn't seem to be too much of a concern for him. Zach, the results are undeniable, man. They are 15-1 with him as a starter, as to 0-2 without. So he makes the offense better, man. That's for sure. So I think, and I think that Brock Purdy's luck is going to kind of run out. I think he's going to probably struggle a little bit against the really, really good against the Eagles defense here. But again, I don't want. I mean, Brock Purdy, man. I think he's come onto the scene, and I think he's going to continue to do. I think if I'm the 49ers, I stick with him, Zach. Because I think he's shown flashes. I mean, more than I think he's shown a lot of potential. But yeah.
Yeah. So you think it will be Bengals, Eagles? Am I correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. All right. You heard that here first. Now I also think it will be Bengals Eagles in the Super Bowl. And where are we at? All right, to fill some time, we are going to talk about Pitt basketball and their little run they've been on here. So let me see what the final score was.
71-68, I believe.
Yes, sir. Thank you. All right, so Pitt.
Jack, real quick, do you have a score prediction on the Super Bowl? Because I know by the time people
not yet. Next week.
Okay, all right.
Super Bowl 50, what? 54?
Yeah, something like that. Arizona, so that'll be warm weather.
All right, Super Bowl 54 preview show will be held. It will be pre-recorded because Danny and I will both be out of town on Super Bowl Sunday, but it will air live on Super Bowl Sunday. I've reached out to Ethan to see if he can come back on here and join us. And so we will be previewing the Super Bowl and both teams' individual runs to get to the Super Bowl and how we think the game will be. That it will be next week right here on All Things Sports. So anyway, let's talk about Pitt basketball here. So Pitt basketball currently stands at 15-7. What are they? 8-3 AC in the Atlantic Coast Conference. Am I correct?
Yeah, you're correct in that. Yeah.
So Pitt. I mean, the problem, the one issue I have with Pitt is that they have really really good starts. They make you do a lot of this, and then in the second, in the latter part of the first half, there was a whole lot of this.
Yeah.
And then in the latter part of the second half, there was more of this. So that's been the tale of the. That's been a. I mean, I guess it kind of is the tale of two halves, at least in this game and in the past couple. I mean, the loss. I think we gotta harken back to the loss at Florida State. Now, that was a loss that really demands one of these. Okay. Jesus Lord. We're going to lose the one viewer that we have on there. We apologize for our lack of professionalism. I apologize.
No, I do want to obviously also the one viewer, if you have any sports questions or any sports opinions that you want to share, we'd be we appreciate the one viewer tuning in. But yeah, man, dude, Pitt basketball, how about it, man? I was telling you before the show. I think the ceiling for this Pitt team is the NCAA tournament, and like you said, Zach, I mean, it really has been kind of a lack of consistency, kind of, because like you said, first half we started out great, second half we tend to kind of go first half. It just sometimes we kind of struggle with being consistent, but I mean, talking about the game that took place today against Miami, who's ranked number 20, 20th in the country. I mean, that was a huge win for this program, man. And just the way that we were able to fight back. Miami was up by 8 or 9, I believe, with like 3 minutes left, and we were able to win by 3 in regulation. And like, again, I want to touch on what you said, Zach, because I mean, I think you're spot on there, man, because you were saying how sometimes Pitt kind of lacks that ability to finish. Because I believe with we got a big defensive stop with 10 seconds left, and then we're going to inbound the ball, and we get a turnover. So that is late game turnovers is something that I'm concerned about going forward. But I mean, I say it every time we talk about Pitt, man. Jeff Capel really has his team playing hard, man, and I'm pumped for him because I've always been a fan of him. Obviously, he played at Duke. He was assistant under Coach K. But just the way that Pitt was able to scrap their way, to a victory where they just they really just fought until the end. And I was just happy to be a Pitt fan, man. I really was
Yeah.
watching the game.
Yeah, and coming off a season where we did not have much success either overall or in the conference, I'm not remembering what our final record was last year, but this year we seem to have, we well not seem to have, we do have a really good program on our hands, and right now we're projected to be part of the last four into the NCAA tournament, and now this win, I believe, was a quad two win, which I don't know how all that works, but I think Florida State, once again, going back to Florida State, that was I believe that was our first loss in quad four, I want to say, which we were previously undefeated in. And I think that took a blow to our tournament chances, but I still think we will get in with this win here tonight.
And I
Wake Forest, and especially when you have big games from Blake Hinson, Federico, Demarius Burton, and others. Nelly Cummings too. I mean, Hinson had 21 points tonight. Federico had 8. Although he really gets some really good blocks up there. So
yeah, man.
Really, just our defense, and I'll let you talk in a minute. But our defense,
go ahead, keep going.
Was really tight in the second half. Now in the first half, Miami was really suffocating us in our offensive end. But yeah, and Danny.
Yeah, no, and I mean, obviously wanna. You're spot on with what you said, Zach. And it seems to me, Zach, this program really, there's excitement in this program, man. I mean, people are excited for Pitt basketball, and that's what's so cool. I mean, they just had an anniversary of the big dunk that broke the backboard, which is pretty cool. But there's excitement, man, and yeah. No, there's a lot of that going on, which has been awesome to see.
Yeah, okay, there you go. Go ahead.
No, yeah. I mean, I just want to express I sound like a broken record, and I sound like a broken record, but I'm just super excited for to keep watching Pitt basketball.
Yeah. For what it's worth, the Pittsburgh Penguins are currently tied with the San Jose Sharks with 3:47 to go in the second period. Danny, just while we're at it, your thoughts on the Pens going into the All-Star break here? This is the final game before the All-Star break.
Yeah, that's hard to believe, huh, Zach? I mean, dude. I mean, I feel like that hockey's been going so fast, I think that obviously Chris Letang coming back from that stroke and scoring that overtime winner was huge, was awesome to see. Zach, I don't want to. I always kind of criticize this, but I haven't been a fan of our goaltending as of late, Zach. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I mean, on goaltending, with Jory out until after the All-Star break, it's kind of hard. I mean, Dustin Tokarski. I mean, he's a good stopgap goaltender, or temporary goaltender. Excuse me, for the short term. But I like him. He makes good saves, but I've seen him in person. He makes a lot of good saves, a lot of good toe saves. Tokarski.
Correct. Zach, that deserves. I think that might deserve a round of applause.
What is that? No, that. Oh wait, that's for you. Every time you say you sound like a broken record. Why is that? Okay, I need to turn the. Okay. Oh yeah, where's that? Goaltending. Yeah, I mean, I think that the goaltending right now is DeSmith just gives up a 40-foot slap shot goal.
Yeah.
Makes it 4-3 San Jose in the second period.
Oh, was that?
Yes, that game.
I didn't realize you were. Yeah. Oh shoot. All right. Yeah, that's not great.
No, sir. Um, yes, and Danny, also your thoughts on the Penguins' 3-8 record in overtime this season, or yes, this season.
Yeah, Zach. Obviously it's no secret, right, that finishing has not been our friend, and I feel like, and we're spoiled in Pittsburgh sports because anytime we kind of struggle, we always we don't really as a sports town struggle very much, and for that we're kind of spoiled because I know some sports towns that really kind of just are kind of in for the long haul.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
like
which
Vancouver,
what's that?
Vancouver. We'll talk about Vancouver. We keep thinking of topics here. We'll just keep going. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, but I mean, obviously, finishing has not been our friend here. So, getting to overtime, I feel like is a positive, Zach, because you're not losing them those games in regulation. You're tying them up, but obviously, in the scheme of things, obviously we're already to the All-Star break, which again is hard to believe. So obviously,
Correct.
you want to get 2 points any way you can.
Yes. Also, I forgot to mention a happy birthday to our co-host Danny Shanholzer, whose birthday was on the 26th. So happy birthday to you, Daniel. I will allow give you a celebratory.
No, thanks, Zach.
Yes,
No, yeah, it's kind of hard to believe.
need to get a happy
Time really flies when you're having fun, man.
Yeah, it does. It does. What else? Oh, yes. So Vancouver. Vancouver obviously fired. Vancouver is not having the best of years this year. So they fired head coach Bruce Boudreau. Excuse me. Danny, your thoughts on firing of Boudreau and the Canucks overall?
Yeah, like you mentioned, Zach, the Vancouver, they haven't been great. But I honestly, Zach, and I haven't watched a ton of Vancouver Canucks hockey, so I'm not the best guy to ask, but we're gonna try our best, and hopefully we can. My thing is that I really don't think that from what just a couple articles that I read, that Boudreau is not the problem. I think it's a broader problem with the way the organization kind of does things. And Zach, you always kind of hear about a culture that is created. I think it's pretty clear that the culture at for Vancouver isn't in terms of like management and stuff isn't the best. And again, I feel for fan bases that really that teams are struggling. So obviously, I'm sure they might have much more. They probably have better thoughts than I do, considering they watch their team every night. But yeah, I mean, it's always tough when you got a coach is fired mid-season. So I'm curious to see kind of the direction of where the Canucks go here. I mean, what's your thoughts on that, Zach, if you have any?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have any thoughts, but it's just interesting to see that, I mean, it sounds like Boudreau was well liked around the Vancouver and BC community. So it's interesting to watch that he got fired and his exodus was the way that it happened, the way that it did.
And a lot of times, Zach, and I'm just kind of going off of I feel it kind of, and it's a tough reality of the coaching business, because obviously, it is a business, as crazy as it's crazy to me that games are businesses, but nonetheless, the leagues are a business, right? But oftentimes it seems as though coaches are sometimes, like, I don't want to use, but like, blamed for blamed for broader issues, right? You always kind of see
Mhm.
the first move is for the coach to get fired, which I just kind of find interesting because a lot
Yes.
of times, the coach is really trying to point the organization in the right direction. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Also, Penguins update: the Penguins go in the second period down 4-3 on the power play after a San Jose penalty for holding. What else? Do we have any other topics you'd like to bring up on this lovely, longer episode than I thought we would
Yeah,
go?
yeah.
Hopefully,
No,
everything's
it's
okay.
been fun, man.
Um, what else? What else? It's all that I had as far as anything. So we'll just I guess we'll wrap it up here. So we will talk to you next time. We will reach out or we will talk to you again about the Super Bowl 54 preview show, which when we can get that coordinated with Ethan. That once again it will be pre-recorded. That will air live on the channel on Super Bowl Sunday. We will once again reach out and hopefully we can get Ethan on the schedule to come on here and talk about that. And for Danny Shenholzer and Zach Bischoff and all the rest of us here at All Things Sports, my name is Zach Bischoff saying bye for now.